It's good. Because no one negotiates well at all. They really don't. But also you'll never lose an argument. If you want to have an argument, or like a discussion, people always trying to prove people wrong. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say for an argument like, oh, I won the argument thing, right. But it allows, what it basically does. I'll tell you what the financial discussion for the business. Someone wants, oh, is that your best price? Oh, thank you, that's great feedback. So you don't ignore the fact they said that. What would you suggest I do? And what you do is you basically have them try to come up with a way to reduce your price and why it's a good idea to reduce price. And then they learn, oh, he has a business to run, or she has a business to run, and oh, it doesn't work to cut the fees by this. And there's a series of a way of doing this that I have yet to have it fail me, that you get everything you want. Yeah. But they did it. Yeah. Because they put themselves in my situation. Right. So it's a really, really, really cool. I mean, you can use it for if you work for someone, if you're an employee asking for a wage increase, you don't go in and ask for a wage increase. He has a whole, and there's been courses that have stolen his idea. I've seen them. But basically, he has a whole chapter on how to get a wage increase. But it's not what people think. Right. Hey, I need a wage increase. I've been really good. I'm here on time. No. Right. So he has a whole methodology to it, but it's brilliant.
That's amazing. It sounds amazing.
Oh, it's a great book. I have to say it's one of the best books I've ever, but someone recommended to me, like, yeah. I listened to him, like, this is incredible.
Who recommended the book to you, or how did it come up on your list of things?
So I have a list of books that people recommend to me. Right. And this was from someone I did not know. Right. Who happened to be in some random Facebook group that I respected the people's opinion in it. So I don't know the name of the person, but it was in one of these, I have 3 or 4 groups that I'm a part of that it's just very high quality people. Yeah. So I said, I'll listen to it.
Okay, gotcha. So a little bit different, but along the same vein, if you had to pick 3 courses, which is slightly different to books, if you had to pick 3 courses that you think...
For business or personal?
For business, that you think all entrepreneurs should do, what would you say?
Good question. Well, Trinidad's very blessed. Cash Flow Club, which a guy many of you guys may know, Roger Moore, runs, which is it's basically a business school for entrepreneurs and investors. It takes the whole Cash Flow Club, Cash Flow, Rich Dad Poor Dad thing, and makes you literally learn how to get out of the rat race. And at the same time, you do deals, like you buy and sell stuff. But more importantly, one of the biggest hesitations people have in the idea of business is they say, I don't got the money. I want to do this, but I don't have the money. You learn how to actually create deals, what they call OPM, other people's money. So that's a big personal belief people have, and it's a lie. Trinidad has so much money. You can tell with all the cash, right, what we had hidden away with the recent dollar bill change. But there's a lot of money in Trinidad. People with money don't have time. People with time don't have money. So most entrepreneurs are dirt poor. Fine. Wealthy people want you to come to them with brilliant ideas, show them, maybe put some skin in the game, and they'll fund 95% of it, and now you are a part owner of XYZ. So that's it's a really, really cool class. And it is brainwashing. I'll be 100% honest, the course is brainwashing. And the reason I say it's brainwashing is, but it's good brainwashing.
Sometimes being brainwashed is useful.
It is. So the second course is actually my own. So I'm going to take a rare selfish moment.
No, drop it.
The number 1 skill in business is sales. Everyone says, I want to start a business. It's going to be great. And I got this I developed the coolest lotion ever. And it's great. I spent all this time doing it, but they can't sell it. And then their neighbor has another great idea, but is kind of lazy and does half the quality of that, but the person's a brilliant salesperson. Sale. That person is successful. This person can't survive. So with the person that actually runs Cash Flow Club, and that was not the intent, but we just happened to do it, we created a simulated-based sales course that I feel is stellar, and I truly think is at a Grant Cardone level, and I don't say that to Mama Guy of the world or whatever. But
I love how you sprinkle in the Trini words.
I have to. But we use a simulation-based approach. It's fun and it's engaging, but it teaches all the core aspects of sales. so people can overcome their insecurities. Last but not least, that would be nice, there's a online author named Maria Forleo.
Yeah.
She has something called B School.
Yeah.
And her mission, I think, is to get 1 million students graduated through it. And the B School has a lot of fundamental aspects, a lot of tics and practices that people can do. So it's a good, strong fundamental. Ideally, if people can, they do all 3 first. So the Cash Flow Club rewires your brain to think, I can actually do this. I have some basics, because learning is slow, and we always, people always want to change people, then we try to change ourselves and realize how hard it is to change ourselves. So both approaches of the cash flow and then the sales course, both use kind of brainwashing practice things, so the brain is forced to do it. And then the Maria Forleo's class is very much the steps. And she's really cool. She embraces law of attraction kind of stuff, so she understands mental principles and all of that. And I think that would be good rounding out of everything. Because again, if you don't understand the basics, if you can't sell, you're dead. But it's just the nuts and bolts. But it's nice to know all the other stuff.
Right.
And this helps with all the other stuff.
Right, gotcha. Okay. If someone came up to you today and said, John, I have this really great idea for this thing, I don't know what the thing is, and I want to start a business and I want to make a lot of money, what is the first thing you would say to them?
I always ask them if they're taking cash flow. I actually genuinely do. Just because I don't want to waste their time and my time, where I teach them fundamentals they need to know.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'll do 2 things. Every business needs a mission. If you don't have a mission, the product should be a result of why you're doing this. There's a great book, if we're doing books again, and this would have made the list, but the other ones just popped in my head first. It's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's kind of like the North Star book for business. Mm-hmm. And most people don't know why they're doing the thing. They say, I just want to make money, and that's fine. But at some point, if you can do 2 things, if you can sell lots of what you love and love why you're doing it, work isn't work. Warren Buffett said, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I would tell people, this is great. Why do you want to do this? So I would really try to dive deep. And then, that's one thing. And the other thing is, will it sell? Who's it going to sell to? So I'm doing book dropping, but I'll drop one book. It's called Lean Startup. If anyone's heard of the term pivot, it's a common nomenclature now. You've heard of the term? Mm-hmm. Where you're like, this isn't working, I'm going to change my direction. That book created the term pivot and minimum viable product, which is this. Carnival's coming up. I want to sell t-shirts. Will blue ones sell? Black ones? Red ones? Whatever. Pick a few colors. You pick a few designs, and then you try to sell them up let's say now to not quite in Carnival, but close. And then you you sell them online and see what sells virtually. And you literally take them to the transfer online, the bank payment page or the credit card page, however they're paying. In other words, to see, are they buying? That's called testing. Because a lot of people have great ideas that never sell. If people are going to buy it, now you know what they're going to buy. So let's pretend this person said, I want to sell t-shirts. What t-shirt design? What color? What this, what that, what this? And then you can literally come up with the best t-shirt design that will sell huge at Carnival, and then you bring over 2,000 shirts, and you sell them on the Savannah, and now your year's made. But most people don't do that. They have 20 shirt designs of colors, 2 sell, everything doesn't. It's just the way it works. And if you understand that everything will only be 20% typically, there's something called the 80-20 principle, which is 80% of results come from 20% of whatever's being done. So 20% of those shirts are going to sell. So if you had 10, 2 sell, the other 8 don't. But they do a little bit. But the point is, if they had tested, they would know the 2. And then they just sell those like hotcakes. And then everyone wins. The people get exactly what they want. I don't want to buy these crap shirts. All the good ones are gone. So everyone gets what they want. Oh, my friend has the nice shirt too. And then you win because your business sells out. So people don't test, and it's very easy to test. We have an online world. For $100 US, you can test any product or service. And that's the thing people fail. They go through years. I'm going to register a business. And they do analysis paralysis. well, what's my website going to look like? What's my Facebook page like? All this time and energy, and they've never sold squat. You need to sell it. Know who's buying it, have fully tested it before you start any of that. And it's easy to do nowadays. Even in Trinidad where people don't have credit card dollars, but again, you just take them to I'm going to pay page, and that shows you if it's a viable product.
Right.
And so that would be my thing. So take cash flow so you understand how an entrepreneur should think, maybe learn how to sell, but really more importantly, test. And know why the heck you're trying to sell this, not just to make money. So if you want to sell shirts that make money, there's nothing wrong with that, but I want to really, the problem is next year you may not want to sell shirts, and it'll be hard for you to do. There's nothing worse than going to work, something you thought was your thing, and then you hate it now. It's the worst, because you're back to like working. The job forces the owner to work more than anyone. Right. Who's the best employee of every business? The owner. Because they gotta, So the problem is with that, make sure your why is strong. Otherwise, year 2, you just won't feel, for whatever reason you don't feel it. Work is work now, and that's not fun. Because then you're literally the owner, and it kind of owns you, instead of the old. It's just the way it is, and it makes it it's just kind of back to being the employee again. Yeah. Under your own umbrella. Yeah, you have to be so aware of and so mindful of what you're doing that you don't trap yourself in the same trap you're trying to escape. It's really easy to do that. It's very easy. Too easy. As I say to my friend, it's too easy to crash your life. It's too easy. You have to be very vigilant. It reminds me what you were saying, so the business owns you, about Jim Ron. You probably know Jim Ron, right? Mm-hmm. And he has all these, he has millions and, okay, let me not say millions. Billions of videos, you think? A lot. It's like a universe of Jim Ron content, right? Yeah. And there's so much of it is about how to run a business and how to set up your life and all these principles, and it's a plethora, it's a never-ending vortex of Jim Ron stuff, which I love. He's one of my favorite people because he's not just. What I like about him is that he has that humor element that I think other people have it, but he is giving you the tips, but he's also really funny at the same time and sarcastic. I love it. And then I remember after listening to all these videos, there was one video that I found. It was almost like hidden, a needle in a haystack. Mm-hmm. It was one little video where he was like, yeah, but maybe you shouldn't run a business because one year you're running the business, next year the business is running you. So think about it. Can I add one little tidbit? Yeah. So I business coach. Part of my day job is coaching, right? One of the things that I strongly encourage, I just want people to hear this who are going to watch this. Most people, obviously they have their day job and they say, I want to start a business. They quit way too soon and they cannot survive. And there's nothing worse than being in survival mode. Let's say you have children, you may have an apartment, your car. You don't want these things being gone because you're starting this business. So this is just a note for those who. Well, it actually might tie into one of the questions that I was going to ask. So I feel like maybe there was some connection. Yeah, synchronicity, exactly. Because I wasn't sure if you might answer this just in the opposite way of the things that you said people should do, or if it might be bring out a whole new dimension in your mind. But this is the question. Okay. What are some things that you would suggest people definitely don't do if they wanted to start a business? Perfect. So I started it. So don't quit. So one of my favorite people, what's his name? He has a famous video called Jump. Name's not Stephen Harvey. I love Stephen. Yeah. I do. I genuinely love Stephen. I think he's Steve. Yeah. And he's a blessing. Yeah. Women need to read his book. Really? 90-Day Rule? No. The book about Think Like a Man. Yes, because it teaches you how men think. You find. Okay, listen. Anyway, yeah. Whole other discussion. Right. Anyway, but Steve has a famous video when after one of his shows, he told people you got to jump, and you do. Yeah. You do. Don't get me wrong. But most people say, I want to start a business, they start the business, and then they quit very soon. Yeah. So I have a very, very simple formula. If you can make, for 2 to 3 months in a row, 140% of your monthly salary. So let's say you're making $10,000 a month. If you can make $14,000 a month for 3 months, quit your job. Don't until then. And do not ever touch the business money. I'll tell you why too. And here's why it's so cool if you actually do this. You can hire people, virtual staff. You know, most people, they have WhatsApp, they can message people all day. You can have your staff doing stuff for you. In other words, the business is running on that $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 it's earning, and then the day you quit, you can keep or whatever. But the point is, you've actually built something, it builds a lot of momentum. Because if you just do nights and weekends, which is what you still need to do, you're not going to make it. So another thing they shouldn't do.
I love when you keep saying you're not going to make it.
Well, here's another thing: is if you're serious about having a business. Yeah. The challenge is most people are married, they have kids, other obligations. If you're single, I'm not saying it's harder or easier, but if you have kids, it's always a challenge. The reason I say this is people need to seriously block off time. And if you have a partner in your life, you do this when I'm doing this. This is my time, and I would encourage 0 interruptions to the degree your computer's off, your cell phone is in a different room, and it's you analog mind mapping, making lists, doing as much as you can without the chance of a YouTube video. Or, oh, look at that, and just things pop up. You get these great things happening. Just the next golden, shiny thing kind of thing. And if you're doing that consistently, you'll actually get to where you need to go. Most people are not focused. I know people, since I moved here, I'm doing a business. 0 progress. 0. Every time we talk, oh, yeah, nothing's happened. They've done, they finally put up a Facebook page. I do workshops to put up a Facebook page in that class. In 3 hours, you have a Facebook page. It doesn't take you 3 years to make a Facebook page. And no, it's 80%, but 80% is better than nothing. So don't let the analysis paralysis part of the analytical mind take over. It's better to fail frequently, and fail forward. So one thing that we're not taught growing up, especially in schools, you're not allowed to fail. A is good. F is failure. Whereas in life, so I'll bring up the taekwondo.
You're going to get a whole lot of Fs.
Yes! Here's the problem. If I win every transaction, I'm the man. I don't learn squat. If I fail, meaning it just doesn't happen for whatever reason, what could I have done differently? How would I have done this or this or this? And so I used to spar, fight, have full contact in Taekwondo. And I'd lose a lot more than I won. And I was bruised physically and emotionally. But I loved it tremendously because it taught me all the things I can learn. And the people who would have an easier group of fighters to fight, when they finally got to the good guys, would get destroyed because they were never learning along the way. So they'd be slightly more talented than others, but because they don't fail, it messes them up. So the reason I bring it up is try to fail. I know it's counterintuitive. Maybe think of it as micro failures.
But are you trying to fail, or are you just open to trying things that you not sure are going to for sure work and see what happens?
So that's probably a better way to say it. So don't make the intention to fail.
Don't aim for failure.
Don't aim for failure, but embrace it when it happens. Okay. Tony Robbins has something when he finishes an event. What went well? What could I have done better? And everything I do, I ask those 2 questions. So when we're done today, what went well today? Well, we had a lot of fun. And what could we have done better? It's always good to do that in the moment because 2 weeks from now it's gone. But then next time, you got it. And you'll do this half of 1%. But a 1% upgrade is 30 times better in a year. It's insane. So if you're willing to do tiny tweaks, and again, those are like micro failures. So it's not true failure. Maybe we can call it micro improvements. Yeah. And never put yourselves in a situation that's catastrophic. If you have a business, don't let the thing you're doing kill the business. That's obviously too big a risk. And if it seems the only way, work as many things you can to mitigate the risk and then you've at least done the best you could to mitigate so it doesn't go to failure. Most people view entrepreneurs as total risk takers, and they are in many respects, but they learn incredibly smart ways to mitigate risk. Because then I got that taken care of. I know these 10 things are not going to come up because I've dealt with them before. I know exactly what to do. But these new ones, they come up. Okay, I learned. So as long as you don't destroy the business in the failure and have just testings, of what's working and not working, magic happens over time. And all these super successful people are people who have tried one failed, and then they got so good at all that things just exponentially catapulted to the stratosphere. The Grant Cardones and all the people that everyone knows their names.
Yeah. Did you always want to, because when we spoke, I'm not sure if you really want to share that, but when we spoke, you told me about, what your vision is for yourself, like way in the future. Mm-hmm. And when you were growing up, did you always have those grand aspirations, or did that kind of come along the way? Like, did you always, when you were growing up, think, okay, I'll work, most people work, like, that's what adults do, and...
Well, I don't like working for people.
Right.
I'm a terrible employee. I am.
What makes you a terrible employee?
I don't like being told what to do.
Okay.
I like being the decision maker or on the decision-making process.
Okay.
And so most of the jobs I had, I always had enough autonomy that there wouldn't be too much bacchanal with the boss. But, so literally from probably 21, I've worked for myself.
Okay. So basically, just based on your personality, it's kind of like, this is the best fit. True. Like, this is what? Probably the best route. True,
but so my ultimate vision for my life is literally to help humanity achieve greatness, right? Because I feel everyone has it in them. But whether or not I felt that or not as a child, the one thing I've realized, and actually even the past 6 months, we're often afraid, myself very much included, to fully express the greatest version of ourselves. It's going to offend a lot more people because it's a little more concise in how it talks. It has a lot more oomph, and we're almost, I don't know the quote, there's this famous quote, our biggest fear is,
yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Your biggest fear is not that you are something. I know what you mean. Yes. Your biggest fear is that you...
So, yeah. So that...
I know it.
It's a wonderful quote. It's going to be great. In the cut, cue this on the screen. But it's, anyway, so growing up, I was so insecure. I would never be fuller, more powerful John. And over time, I've embraced it, and at times I feel it, like I just feel very, for lack of a better term, very powerful. Yeah. But I think it's all within us. Yeah. And what I love about it, what sounds counterintuitive, so when I feel it, I do feel very powerful. Yeah. Like I can literally do anything, unstoppable, right? But what's cool about it, at the same time, what identically goes parallel with it is my belief in others' possibility is the same. So it's not like I'm ignoring the world. So when I feel, yes, let's do this, I see everyone else being able to do it too. So feels good. So it's not like, it's all about John. Yeah. It's nice because I feel awesome and my belief in others grows as well. So it's a wonderful culmination. Yeah. What's like a really juicy, like you said earlier, if you can't sell, you're not going to survive. Mm-hmm. What's like a really juicy sales tip that you could share with the people? Most people don't follow up. Someone has a contact with one person, 50% of salespeople never call that person. Let's say you do call them. 50% of people don't call them the second time. By the time you get to 4 interactions, 92% of those people have never talked to the person. Why does that matter? 80%, meaning 4 out of 5 sales, happen on interaction 5 through 12. So most people in business, if they literally made 5 to 12 contacts and had this little somehow tracker, CRM, I don't care where you're putting it, saying contact 1, contact 2, contact 3, 12 times per person, their sales will quadruple. Not be 40%, 400% more. Because that's where the sales are. And to think about it, from your situation, I don't know you. Why are you calling me? Leave me alone. Click. Hey, call me, so it takes time, and in the marketing world they call it know, like, and trust, for you to finally like you a little bit and trust you and kind of respect what you have to bring, it takes time. So I would say that'd be one of the juicier ones because people are awful at follow-up. I just said 12%, whatever, I think it's 12%, whatever that percent, roughly 10%, make it to when it actually matters. And the difference is failure, success. So the first 4 contacts you get with someone is the low-hanging fruit. I need this now. Everyone else, be patient. And the blessing in that, and here's the real truth, and this is another thing, it's relationships. People often think, I'm here for the sale. Nah, you're here to serve them, to get to know them, to see what the really deeper issues are, and if you're able to help. And if you're not, don't sell them, but still keep the relationship going. Because you spent time doing it. What's a little WhatsApp once in a while, and a happy birthday, and, 4 or 5 contacts here. And then, crazily enough, you'll get referrals for years from that person. Think how different you are from everyone else by not being hard, I need to sell you my stuff. And last but not least, I don't want to not forget this quote, people hate to be sold,
But they love to buy.
but they love to buy. They do. It's the best thing. You got money in your pockets or wherever you got your money, like, yeah.
I wanted this thing and now I have this thing.
Yes, it feels wonderful. But people hate to be sold. So what are you thinking of today? As opposed to, you want this? I think you want this. Here, try it on. So you're like, no, next door. So don't sell people.
Yeah.
Find a way to build relationships, actually get to know them,
Yeah.
and follow up.
Yeah.
If you follow up, but those all things kind of related because with 12 touches or contacts, you know the person.
Right.
And by the way, about 6 or 7, they're like, Ashana, what's up? Like they know you. The number is saved. And it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't mean 12 phone calls. It could be a WhatsApp. Hey, save my number. I've been contacting you about this. We haven't got a chance to really talk yet. Save it, first name, last name, done. That's a touch point. So don't worry about it being 12 meetings, 12 whatever. But that's how relationships are created. Even this crazy story with my wife. It's not like we talked, we got married tomorrow. That's what a sale is. It's like a marriage. It takes time. Even if mine may be a little more drastic than most.
Yeah. So I just have a few questions left, like 3 questions. Mm-hmm.
I only have 3 answers left, so it's perfect. It's the magic 3.
You're so funny. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you're. Okay. No. This one is more important. So the question.
I can just answer them quicker. It's okay.
All right. So I don't know if you might find this is too intrusive. I don't know. But I'm really intrigued as I would classify you as someone who's a high performer.
Okay.
And I think people will be intrigued to know, what is your, tactically, how do you approach your life? Because there are a lot of persons now who are into daily routine and things you should do early in the morning. So I'm interested to know, what do you do on a daily basis? What do you do on a month? Yeah, what do you do on a monthly basis, whether you block off within quarters? What do you do on an annual basis? That makes you so magic-y.
Magic-y.
Yeah.
So, great. This is a wonderful question. I do a lot, but I'll try to simplify. So,
I feel like I know one of your.
I bet you do. I bet you do. What is it?
No, not your routine. Just
Okay.
one of your strategies, which is just kill people with compliments. It really works. It's been working really well on me. I feel really great. I feel really amazing.
Well, I don't mom a guy.
Right.
I do not. I won't say it.
I
really like how you understand the nuanced definition of mama guy, because that is there's some layer to that word, and I really like how you understand the layering of the word.
See, that was a very wonderful compliment. Thank you right back. So a few things are really, really instrumental. I eat very clean. I get enough sleep every
I can see that. I can see it in your eyes. I can feel it in your aura.
Yeah, I eat very clean.
Yeah.
Took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
I do fasting and intermittent
I can see things just being repelled by your energy miles away, they can't even, it's just, there's an impurity here and it cannot enter.
That's the way the world works. But yeah, so it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah.
I never tell people you're going to get there immediately, and I do fall. So again, remember it's up and back, up and back. So eat clean, huge amounts of water, enough sleep. Sleep schedule must be regular. Your body likes regularity. People have bowel movements every day. You need to sleep the same time every day. It's just the way the body works. And then probably the most important thing is spend time on you in the morning before the day starts. So if you work for yourself, it's easier. I'm not saying necessarily easier. It's just you have more theoretical calendar freedom. But I'm about 90 minutes to 2 hours a day, John. And I work out all the time too, but that's not always in that morning thing. But I just say find time in the morning before stuff happens, and ideally you're spending some of that time on something that's moving the needle forward with where you want to go. In other words, let's say you have this goal for this quarter, you're spending at least some time, let's say you got a busy day, already planned, but you have that, let's say 2 hour block, hour for you, whatever you're doing, your morning routine, and if you want me to give morning routine details, I can, but sometime on your goal, and this is, remember, this is not the end result, this is the action. So you're working on the actions that move that forward. And every day, it gets 2 or 3% better or whatever forward. And the great thing about that is two things happen if you don't do that. The world will tell you, I have emergencies. People will call you, they'll have phone calls, they'll call you in the phone calls, emails, WhatsApps, everyone else's important stuff will come to you by 9 o'clock. And now you're reacting for the rest of the day to them in between your other stuff you have planned. Not on you anymore. So what you need to do is you in the morning. And I would make that spiritual. If you can exercise, I would have it be, if you could meditate, I would say that's a beneficial one. But whatever works for you, do it first, then let the day happen. Once that's a habit, and you have the control of that, then once, again, this is when you have more control of your time, do like a 90-minute time block in the morning too. And in both of these, the morning time and the 90-minute time block, your phone is not near you, usually your computer's off. You're on a desk, nothing but paper. And then you're doing the stuff you need to do that you normally go on the digital world on paper. And then transfer it when you're done. The reason you do that is there's no interruptions. Interruptions is to destroy productivity. So what's important to you early, and then you first thing. And those usually have to be phased in. So the morning, hour, whatever. And you can start with 20 minutes in the morning. I'm not saying do a full hour, 2 hour thing, but I spend 90 minutes to 2 hours. But I'm very I notice the difference. If I do that, the day is on stellar. I don't do that, the day it's good, but it's not exceptional. And the amount of inner awesomeness you feel totally stems from that. One of my favorite quotes is, a successful life is just a series of successful days. That's a successful day. I start, I'm done, boom, and I usually work out at lunchtime. So I don't do the 7 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever workout. I just work out at lunch. The gym is pretty much dead, and that's what I do. But so eat clean, sleep, all that.
Okay, so final question is, what services can people reach out to you for, and where can they get in contact with you?
Easiest way to get in contact, website, johnruman.com. And I have a private Facebook group which I try to send people to because it's not one of those groups that everyone can post and spam. Only John can spam you. And when I spam you, I try to do highly value-added stuff. So it's probably 10% sales and 90% a lot of good stuff. And it's a really, really cool, very highly engaged group. But if you want to kind of see what's happening, what John does, the website's easier, firstnamelastname.com. Services, I do business coaching and life coaching, and I call myself a holistic business coach, meaning I cover you and business. I do sales training, obviously. I do consulting, and then I will also do a lot of workshops. So a lot of what you'll see on the events side of my page, this month, for example, I'm doing 3 or 4. So I'm doing a retreat, I'm doing a productivity workshop, a business basics. I do a bunch of things, again, all with the intent of making the person more confident in their business, in their life, whatever. So So if you want, the easiest way to get to meet me, and probably is just do a workshop at some point that would resonate with you. And they're usually sold out, which I guess is a good thing, but they're a lot of fun and dynamic, and I can help you with wherever you want to go. So whoever is watching this, if they want to grow, if they have some ideas of some stuff they want us to do, I'm happy to do that. I'm also starting a Law of Attraction series with a woman locally too. And I also do group coaching.
Okay. Exciting. Fun last question. No, I said that was the last question, but a fun thing.
It's always
Random.
one more.
I know, right? Random, fun thing. What is one thing you like about Trinidad and Tobago, maybe besides the weather, which is better than being in minus 18 degrees?
People are wonderful.
Yeah.
People are wonderful, and it's perfect every day. And for me, it really feels like heaven on earth.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to wake these people up to, John. Like,
Well, I'll tell you what. So remember, John moved around 5,000 times, right?
there's a vibesy place.
This is one of the highest vibing places I've ever been
Oh
in.
my God.
It really is.
Like we have some magic vibes here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we just need to spread it more, like how your aura is like really powerful. We just need to like spread it a little more. But it's just like this is magic.
It really is beautiful and wonderful. And
Yeah.
yes, there's a lot of. There's definitely a higher energy here than most places I've ever been.
Yeah.
You go around to the places like you can go to other islands. They're pretty, and the beaches are wonderful. But Trinidad, just the island has more going for it, and it's almost, you can't describe it, but you feel it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so perfect. I feel like that's an ad for Trinidad right there. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much, John.
You're welcome. Thank you, Sean.
I'm very excited. I think this went well. Yes, Melina agrees.